This is a demo of the Boss Spectrum SP-1. I'll be using a Gibson Les Paul guitar, an AC15 and a little bit of reverb from the Fender Spring Reverb unit. I just strum the open guitar as I turn up the Spectrum control here. You can hear that slight wah-wah quality to the sound. It's not particularly strong. If I turn the balance control up, the effect will get stronger. And I'll switch it in during playing. Out. And switched in. Again, I don't know if you can hear this on the video camera sound, but there's quite a significant volume boost when it's switched in, as well as that aggressive upper middle. Both pickups on the Les Paul, which would be a sort of classic sort of rock and roll sound, I suppose. That's it with the SP-1 switched out. And then I think it'd be more accurate to describe it as a kind of parametric middle rather than a wah-wah preset wah really, but it's got a bit of an element of both. This is at its most extreme setting with both controls as far round to the right as they'll go. With both the controls round hard to the right, you can really hear it making the Les Paul on the back pickup sound a lot more like a Strat. There's the Les Paul straight, and with the SP-1. Okay, let's turn the Spectrum control right round to the other way. I'll leave the guitar ringing as I do that so you can hear what frequencies it's affecting. And let's use that setting to play something. And off. That's the guitar straight. The SP-1 is really boosting the lower middle here, resulting in quite a nasal sound. Now the Spectrum control is at about 2 o'clock. You can really hear it giving a bit of bite to the sound there, and I can imagine that could be useful, especially if you've got an amp or a guitar that veers towards the dull sound. And on. And the volume boost is back now. You can really hear a jump in the volume when I play it now. I think the most useful sound is when you crank the Spectrum quite a long way up. The balance is just a mix control, really, how much of the effect you get. But with the Spectrum control quite a long way up, well, that's a pretty useful sound. That's giving a nice stratty type rhythm sound on a Les Paul, which I quite like. would say is the most useful quality of it, giving a single coil type bite to a humbucker guitar, and that's a nice sound. Once more, I'll just strum the guitar and turn that spectrum control so you can hear exactly what it does. This doesn't sound like a wah-wah, there's more of a comb filtering effect. Now I'm just going to give it a blast with my Les Paul through a little PV Classic 20, which is actually a 15 watt amp. And it's an amp that overdrives very readily. There's hardly any clean sound on it at all, which makes it a great little recording amp, and I use it for most of my recordings. Here's what the PV sounds like with its own natural distortion. There's a little bit of preamp gain on it, giving it a bit of a blur, but a lot of the blur is coming from the power amp you're hearing there. Switch in the SP-1 with both the controls at somewhere around 1 o'clock, and you'll hear the boost. I'll switch it on as I'm playing. Again, a very noticeable volume boost in the room here, and it makes it much more aggressive. Great sound on the lower strings. But it does sound slightly unnatural. I don't know, it's a great sound. It's whether you like it or not. Again, without and in. It's a way of getting a Fendery bite to a Gibson type guitar. Now with the spectrum control and the balance control right round. And off. And on. Here it is cutting in and out. Giving you a lot of top end boost there. I'm on the back pickup with the Les Paul here, and it's sounding quite. That doesn't sound like the back pickup of this guitar through that amp. And off. And on. So there you go. The Boss SP-1.